I am just a poor boy, though my story's so told. I have sworn my resistance for a pocket full of rumbles, such high promises. All lies and just still a man he hears what he wants to hear, disregards the rest. I left my home and my family. I was no more than a boy in company with strangers. The quiet of the railway station running scared. Laying low, seeking out the poor borders where the ragged people go. Looking for the monsters that only they know. Nowhere workman's wages. I am looking for a job, but I get no offer. Just to come home from the Lord on 7th Avenue. Well, I did declare there were times when I was so lonesome, but I didn't know comfort there. Now I'm laying out in my winter clothes, wishing I was warm. With those New York City winters hovering, leading me go home. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every love that laid down. Lord, I can he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighters still remain. welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monday Night Music with a Message, featuring music by yours truly, Ken Wanovich. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. Welcome to my Facebook page, Ken Wanovich Music. This is where I have my Monday Night Music every Monday night, and we simulcast it to Facebook and as well as YouTube. And if you're just watching for the first or haven't been for a while, one of the things that helps me is when people make comments, especially in YouTube. If you make a comment, YouTube has a strange algorithm, and they appreciate it when people make comments and they boost the video. And so I would appreciate if you're watching on YouTube to like my channel and make a comment. And same with Facebook Live. Facebook does also reward channel owners when their followers when they're watchers and make comments. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear where you're watching from, what you've been up to this last week, and maybe you have a question or something for Debbie or I, and we'd love to be able to answer any questions that you might have. I just want to say thanks for Mark. Mark's watching. Thanks, Mark. Mary's watching. John, Ken, Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Debbie, my wife Debbie's watching. Thank you, baby. Oh, it's great to see someone. Hi, Colleen. Nice to see you. Christine. Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for watching. Hola. Hey, tonight's format is going to be just a little different because each artist that I play a song from, it's going to be a double play. So in other words, I'm going to do two songs in a row by the same artist. Railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand. And I stopped to state the plan for a poet and one man band. Oh, word bound, I wish I was. Oh, word bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Every day is an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. Each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories. Every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be. Oh, I wish I was. Oh, where my thoughts are sleeping. Oh, where my music's playing. Oh, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Tonight I'll sing my songs again. I'll play the game and pretend. All my words come back to me, shades of mediocrity, emptiness and harmony. I need someone to cover me. Oh, I wish I was. Oh, where my thoughts are escaping. Oh, where my music's playing. Oh, where my love lies waiting silently. Oh, I wish I was. Oh, where my thoughts are escaping. Oh, where my music's playing. Oh, where my love lies waiting silently for me. silently for me. Thank you so much. Yes, a couple of songs here by the great Simon and Garfunkel, not the late, Simon and Garfunkel. Love that duo. Yeah, Marcy, we're coming to Egan, so we got our itinerary planned out, and we're coming to Minnesota. We're leaving on the 27th, and we're kind of taking a slow, windy way up there through Nashville and through Kentucky and through Illinois, doing a couple of concerts along the way. We're heading up to Spirit Lake, Minnesota for the 4th of July cabin concert at John Kerry Hewitt's cabin. And then we're doing another cabin concert sort of for some friends that we know from East Little Harris that live up in that area. We just happened to be there, and it worked out for them to have a concert. So we're going to do that. We're coming down to the Twin Cities for 1 week, and hope that we can see you at some point when we're there. I believe that the Sunday afternoon, is it the 19th, Debbie? Sunday the 19th, I'll be playing music at the Tilted Tiki in the afternoon from 1 to 4, and we'd love to see you guys come out there. If we don't get the chance to see you beforehand or while we're there, I'd love to see you at the Tilted Tiki. So 2 songs in a row here by some of my favorite artists tonight. I think you'll enjoy both of these songs. Of course, I grew up, idolizing this guy, as so did my friend Melissa. And, I kind of looked a little bit like him. I had glasses and long hair. And John Dusseldorf was, he wasn't really popular with that name. But friends said, hey, man, you got to change your last name. It's not very catchy, So he thought about it a little bit. And he thought, yeah, okay, I like the mountains. I like Colorado. So he changed his name to John Denver. And this was one of his first hits. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, shining through the river. Like the over there, the trees, young there, the mountains, growing like the leaves. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. I'm mama, take me home down the road. All my memories gathered around her, iron ladies, danger through the water. Dark and sleep, faded on the sky. Just to taste the moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia. Mountain mama, take me home. I hear her voice in the morning hours. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I know that I should have home yesterday. The country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. My mind, take me home down country road. Take me home down country road. Just take me home down up my senses. I can ride in a forest. I can mountains in springtime. I go walk in the rain. Like a storm in the desert. Like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come let me love you. Come love me again. You fill up my senses. I can hide in the forest. Like the mountains in springtime. Like a walk in the rain. Like a storm in the desert. Like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, a couple songs here by John Denver. Yeah. I think this next artist you'll probably get right away. Hey, Alan and Sherry, thanks for watching. Terry, hey, Terry, I saw those pictures from you were hiking in Yellowstone. Really cool. That was must have had some really nice adventures there. Nice. Oh, I see Bev is watching. Hi, Bev. Ann from Boston area. Thanks, Ann, for watching. And Omar, my friend Omar's watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Too earlier by each artist. I think you'll get artist for sure on the second song. All right, 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 all right. Ain't got no pasta reservation. I got spaghetti and cheap bottle of wine. Don't need no concert in the city. I got a stereo just that's fine. Ain't got no caviar, no Don Perignon. I can see you got everything I want. I got a roof under my head, and I love laying in my bed. It's alright, alright. I got shoes under my feet, forever and rise looking back at me. It's alright, alright. Maybe later on we can walk down to the river, lay on a blanket, stare up at the moon. May not be no French Riviera. It's all the same to me as long as I'm with you. It might be a simple life, but that's okay. If you wanna ask me, baby, think I got it made. 'Cause I got a roof over my head, and I love laying in my bed. It's alright, alright. I got shoes under my my feet forever, and her eyes looking back at me. It's alright, alright. Yeah, I got all I need. That's alright about me. Yeah, yeah, about me. When I lay down at night, I thank the Lord above for giving me everything I ever dream of. 'Cause I got a roof over my head, and I love laying in my bed. And it's alright, alright. I got shoes under my feet forever, and her eyes looking back at me. And it's alright, alright. I got a roof over my head, and I love laying in my bed. It's alright, alright. Yeah, I got shoes under my feet forever, and her eyes looking back at me. And it's alright, alright. Well, I got all I need. Oh, I got all I need. Yeah, I got all I need. That's alright by me. Yeah. Oh, by me. Yeah. Alright, alright. Alright, alright. All right, thank you very much. Woo. All right, here's if you didn't realize who the artist was there. Hi, Patty. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Glenda. Hi. Thanks for watching, Glenda. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. This guy had a big career in a band and decided to go solo, and then changed from kind of alt music to country music. And of course, you probably know that this is Hootie. He changes the one by his real name, Darius Rucker, and we love this song here. Well, I'm heading down south to the land of the pines. I'm on my way out of North Carolina. Staring up the road, pray to God I see headlights. Made it down the coast, 17 hours, I'm picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. I'm a hoping for Raleigh, I can see my baby tonight. It's so rock me, mama, like a waking dream. Rock me, mama, anyway. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Running from the cold, up in New England, I was born to be a fiddler in a no-time string band. My baby plays the guitar, I pick the banjo now. Oh, no girl, with the street, getting me down, lost my money, blue home, so I had to bring it down. I ain't turning back, ain't living that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a waking me, rock me, mama, hey, mama, rock me. Well, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a waking wheel. Rock me, mama, anyway you feel. Hey, hey, mama, rock me. Oh, rock me, mama, like a wind in the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking to the south, out of Roanoke, had a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long talk. He's heading west, Cumberland Gap, Johnson City, Tennessee. Well, I gotta get a move on before the sun. Hear my baby call on my name, but no, she's the only one. If I die to Raleigh, at least I will die free. Yeah. So rock me, mama, like a waking wheel. Rock me, mama, anyway. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Well, mama, rock me, yeah. Mama, rock me, oh, yeah. Say, hey, mama, rock me. Thank you very much. A couple songs here by Darius Rucker. Betsy, hi Betsy. I'm not going to be playing at the St. Paul Farmers Market this summer, unfortunately. I'm not sure how they're going to work that out, but great to see you here. My sister, Lori McCausland is watching.
The whole family.
The whole family is watching. That's awesome. Hey Phil, I haven't talked to you for a long time. Patricia, thanks for watching. Claire, thank you for watching. Oh, Karen Bornkamp. Phil, say hi to your husband there for me. John, would you please? Maybe we'll see you up at Breezy Point. There's a small chance that the Monday or Tuesday after the 4th, I might do a little dockside concert there. We're negotiating with the owners there to see if I could come and play for tips on the patio there. I think that might be kind of fun. Well, last week I had my friend Deb from up in Center City asked me if I could play anything by the Moody Blues. And I said, yeah, I've done this before, but I'd love to do it for you again. A couple of songs here by a group from, I believe they're from Canada. You know, not too many people cover their songs, and it's great to do this. So. Just beginning to see how I'm on my way. Doesn't matter to me, chasing the clouds away. So close to me, trees are drowning me. I got to find out why. Those gentle voices I hear explain it all with a sigh. yourself behind. So gently swing through the spinning land of love. You can just come with me and see the beauty of Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon. Just beginning to see. Now I'm on my way. Doesn't matter to me, chasing the clouds away. Something calls to me. Trees are growing here. Find out why. Those gentle voices I hear, explain it all with a sigh. Looking at myself, reflections of my mind. Just the kind of day to leave yourself behind. So gently swing through this fairyland of love. You could just come with me and see the beauty of Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon. I'm thinking about our fortune. I've decided that we're really not to blame. Though the love that's deep inside us now is still in the sounds we make together. It's the music to the story in your eyes. It's been shining down on us now. Wash your heart away with the heart of the fire that is burning. From the ashes we can build another day. But I'm praying for the children. The love we are living is in vain, and the sunshine we've been waiting for will turn. When the final line is over and it's certain that the curtain's gonna fall, I can hide inside your sweet, sweet love forever. Whoa, whoa. Listen to the tide slowly turning, wash your heartaches away with We're part of the fire that is burning. From the ashes we can build another day. But I'm frightened for the children that the life we are living is fading, and the sunshine we've been waiting for will turn. When the final line is over, and it's certain that the curtains will fall, I can hide inside your sweet sweet love forever. Whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. What's it? Do a toast?
Oh no, I didn't know you had a drink.
No, I have.
Okay.
You can always do toast over and over and over.
All right, we have some more friends that are watching. Thanks for tuning in. Karen Peterson Walrich, thanks for watching, Karen. My good friend John Hewitt is watching. Thanks, John. Hope you made it back up to Spirit Lake okay. We had a really interesting experience. What was that restaurant we went to, Debbie? The Rusty Belly or something like that?
Yeah, the Rusty Belly.
Rusty Belly. We'll have to tell you about that. That was interesting. Susan, Dr. Susan from Frontenac. I was going to say Lake City, Frontenac. Carmen, hi, Carmen. Angela, nice to see you here. Thanks for watching. Barb Conley, thank you for watching. Conley family is still, even though I don't see you guys very much, still very dear to our hearts. So thank you guys for watching. Well, many years ago, I recorded an album of some covers and some originals, and I'm going to play. This is double play artist night, so a couple of songs here by yours truly. This one is dedicated to my friend John Saban. I'm not sure if John is watching, and I'm also going to dedicate this song to Marcy because Marcy got a new motorcycle for her birthday, and I was really jealous when I saw that. She got a new Triumph. It looks like it's kind of an enduro, like on-road, off-road, and that engine guard down there to keep the rocks from flying up. It looks like a beautiful bike, Marcy. So congratulations. I hope you enjoy that. I know you guys like the dirt bike and so forth. And I can't wait to listen to it because I love the sound of those Triumphs. And you know I do. I told you that. Yeah. So Marcy, this is a song that I wrote back when I was, I don't know, just a youngster because I did have a motorcycle and I loved riding it. And this is kind of about the experience that I had, that I still have whenever I get behind the bars, rev up the engine. Winding down the highway on that new toy of yours. You got no worries and you got no chores. You be the person that you want to be. It won't take long for you to see you're free. Feel that breeze blowing through your eyes makes you feel real good to alive. Leave your troubles on the road behind us. Feels real good now to be all alone. You got the feeling that you ain't got a home. Travel near or as far as you can see. There is no place that you can't be. Just go. And you feel that breeze blowing through your eyes. Makes you feel real good to be alive. Leave your troubles on the road behind. This is a feeling. But you can feel that power going round and around. You got no strings to tie you down. You see the world going by at a glance. It wants to keep you, but it don't have a chance. Pass on by, pass on by. And you feel that breeze blowing through your eyes. Makes you feel real good to be alive. Leave your troubles on the road behind. This is a feeling of another kind. You feel breeze blowing through your eyes. Feel real good, alive. Leave your troubles on the road behind to I love that sound of shifting gears and revving that engine. Anybody that rides a motorcycle, I think you can relate to that. Although it doesn't have to be a motorcycle, it could be a hot rod car, maybe a Mercedes convertible, could be any kind of a sports car that gets the wind blowing through your hair and your eyes, and just that feeling of winding down the highway. I love it. Voices on my mind, and I want you here with me. Memory is divine, and I want you near to me. My love, don't go. I need you so. Voice reveals your eyes, and how they shine on me. Sparkle in my life is what you are to me. My love, I need you so. All those things you said are written in my ear. Though we're far apart, to me you're always near in my heart. Voices on my mind, and it's not so clear to me. Feelings deep inside are so dear to me. My love, don't go. I need you so. All those things you said are in my ear. Though we're far apart, to me you're always near in my heart. Voices on my mind, and I want you here with me. Memory of your voice is all that's left for me. Your voice, your voice. your voice, your voice. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Two in a row there by yours truly. Yeah. You know, these are very trying times for many of us. And, you know, some of us maybe feel like we're in like a bad movie or something, or a bad dream. You know, some waiting patiently, others, waiting for some sign of good news, wondering and just waiting for something. Am I going to be okay? Are my children going to be okay? How about my family? Is my family going to be okay? My neighbors. It's a tenuous time. We always kind of wonder, is checking temperatures and wearing face masks in public places and social distancing, is that going to be the new normal now? Am I going to be able to get my job back? And if I do, what's it going to look like in the workplace? And many of us have been, waiting and wondering over these last few weeks and these last few months, waiting to see what the new structures the rioters have destroyed, deteriorated, waiting to see, when the doctor's offices will be open so we can get in there and get something checked or have a checkup or have some non-emergency thing dealt with. Many of us are waiting to see, when and if we'll be able to get back to work. And many of my friends have been furloughed from their jobs and not really sure when they're going to get back to work. And maybe, some of you are wondering, what this new normal is, for schools, for restaurants, churches, sporting events. For those of us who are musicians, I've been fortunate enough to play a little bit here in Sarasota as some of the restaurants are open, but they're not open to full capacity yet. And many places that had music in the past still do not have music. And so many of us are either temporarily or permanently out of a job. And, in light of all the waiting and wondering, it's easy to get anxious about the future. And it's way too easy to slip into a little depression over it all, about our future and the public events that have been canceled. Personally, I was really disappointed that one of our traditions, traveling to Minnesota and attending the Minnesota State Fair, has been altered now, because it's been canceled. And it's one of the things that Debbie and I have always looked forward to, is going back to Minnesota for the Minnesota State Fair. Let's face it, all of our lives have been severely disrupted. And the natural human reaction can range from tightening our grip, on everything in life, to worrying and panicking about everything we see and hear. We as human beings, we love to be in control. We love to be in control of our finances. We love to be in control of our time. We love to be in control of what we do with our lives. We love to be in control of our lives. And one famous hip hop artist said, we really haven't lost control of our lives. We've lost the illusion that we were ever in control in the first place. Wow. Think about that for a minute. We haven't really lost control of our lives. We've just lost the illusion that we were ever in control in the first place. We're operating under the illusion that we're in control. Whoa, that kind of blows your mind. So here's a question. If we aren't in control of our lives, then who is? That's kind of an existential question, kind of a deep thought, but really, friends, tonight I just want to give you some encouragement, because the Bible teaches that God not only created the universe, but that He upholds and sustains it day by day, hour by hour. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3 says, the Son is the sustaining all things. The Son is sustaining all things by His powerful word. Jesus, the Son, is sustaining everything that we see, everything that's happening by His powerful word. And in Colossians chapter 1, verse 17, it says, in him all things hold together. In other words, all things are able to exist through the continuous sustaining action of God, carried out through his Son, Jesus Christ. This so-called laws of nature are nothing more than the physical expression of the steady will of Jesus Christ, God's Son. You know, the law of gravity operates with unceasing certainty because Christ continuously wills it to operate. The stars continue and their courses because he keeps them up there. Isaiah 40, chapter 40, verse 26 says, he brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not a one of them is missing. Wow, to know that God placed them all up there and sustains them by his powerful word. I think that's amazing. In 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verse 12, God is called the ruler of all things. And in 1 Timothy 6:15, he's called the blessed and only ruler. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 29, Jesus is talking about, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about, what clothes you're going to wear, what this is going to happen. Don't worry. Because he's the one who keeps the sparrow from falling to the ground. And even the prophet Jeremiah in Lamentations chapter 3 says, who can speak and have it happen if the Lord has not decreed it? Friends, no one can act outside of God's sovereign will or against it. And I love this quote. Centuries ago, St. Augustine himself said this, nothing happens unless the omnipotent wills it to happen. God is omnipotent. He's all-powerful. That's what that word means. Nothing happens unless God, who is all-powerful, wills it to happen. He either permits it to happen or he brings it about himself. You see, nothing happens without God either permitting it or directing it to happen. God's control is both wonderful and mysterious. If we were to understand the why of what God does, the why of what God allows to happen, we would have to become just like him. And we know that that's not possible. That's just not possible to know everything that God knows or understand everything that God does. Isaiah 55, chapter 55, verse 9 says, his ways are higher than our ways. And the Apostle Paul writes in Romans chapter 11, his judgments are unsearchable and his paths are beyond tracing out. Friends, even though we may think that things are out of control, God is in control. I've been reading in the Psalms every day in my devotion time. And I came across this psalm from chapter 44. I wanted to take a minute to read this for us tonight. We have heard it with our ears, O God. Our ancestors have told us. What you did in their days and days long ago, with your hand, you drove out the nations and planted our ancestors. You crushed the peoples and made our ancestors flourish. It was not by their sword that they won the land, nor did their arm bring them victory. It was your right hand, your arm, and the light of your face, for you loved them. You are my King and my God, who decrees victories for Jacob. Through you, we push back our enemies. Through your name, we trample our foes. I put no trust in my bow. My sword does not bring me victory, but you give us victory over our enemies. You put our adversaries to shame. In God, we make our boast all day long, and we will praise your name forever. I love that because the psalmist is telling us that, some trust in chariots and some trust in horses, some trust in their swords and what they can do in their own. But really, it's God who won the victory, God who wins the victory on our behalf. Paul tells us in his book to the church in Ephesus Ephesians, that we can play a role in this battle that we're facing right now in our world. And it's a fierce battle, folks. All you have to do is watch the news. There is evil out there. And there are many who wish to destroy our country, our faith, our heritage. And I'm not talking about racism. I'm talking about black and white and Black Lives Matter. That is all important. But there's people out there that are just rioting and destroying and setting things on fire. And it's just discouraging sometimes to watch the news. But here, I want to read something for you out of the Message. The Message is kind of a contemporary version, translation, if you will, of Paul's letter to the church. And this is from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 18. And this is what Paul says. God is strong, and he wants you to be strong. So take everything the Master has set out for you, well-made weapons of the best materials, and put them to use so you'll be able to stand up to everything the devil throws your way. This is no afternoon athletic contest that we'll walk away from and forget about in a couple of hours. This is for keeps. This is for keeps. A life or death fight to the finish against the devil and his angels. So, friends, be prepared. You're up against far more than you can handle on your own. Take all the help you can get, every weapon God has issued, so that when it's all over, but the shouting, you'll still be on your feet. Truth, righteousness, peace, faith, and salvation are more than just words. Learn how to apply them. You'll need them throughout your life. God's word is an indispensable weapon. And in the same way, this is important, in the same way, listen up, prayer is essential in this ongoing warfare. See, God provides all of those, the shield and the sword and all of those weapons that we have in order to protect us. And he says this is one of our weapons for attacking. In the same way, prayer is essential in this ongoing warfare. So pray hard and long. Pray for your brothers and sisters. Keep your eyes open. Keep each other's spirits up so that no one falls behind. So that no one falls behind or drops out. Okay, friends, tonight I want to challenge us, you and me, to pray. See, that's how we can join God in this battle against the unseen enemy. That's how we can join God in the fight against evil, is prayer. That's our most important weapon. So friends, I want to suggest a couple of things. And you know what? If you're interested in having this list to refer to, I'm going to put it on my Facebook page on Ken Wanovich Music as one of the comments tomorrow morning. But here's what we need to pray for. We need to pray that God will calm fears and that his people would be reminded that we have a different identity, one of boldness and not of fear. A couple weeks ago, we talked about that, how God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and a sound mind. That's who we are. That's who we are in Christ. Pray that God would calm the fears and that his people would be reminded that we have a different identity, one of boldness and not of fear. 2, praise that the church would be a calming presence and a bright light in the face of so much confusion and darkness. 3, pray that we would be people of compassion who intentionally reach out to others in our neighborhoods and to our family around the world, where following Jesus often results in denial of community, denial of health care, less or no access to medicines, being disowned even by their own families. Let us be people of compassion. Pray that we be people of compassion. Number 4, pray for our world leaders as they work with the healthcare organizations and the medical communities to develop our next steps in moving forward through this pandemic, time of pandemic. 5, pray for the first responders, the nurses and the doctors around the world who are tasked with triaging, testing, and treating increasingly large numbers of people who are coming in to the hospitals. Ask God to give them patience and wisdom and a gentle spirit as they work to navigate fears and offer effective treatment. Hospitals are seeing unprecedented number of patients with these symptoms that are flu-like. Friends, I think this is 6. Pray for our church leaders as they offer insight and wisdom to their congregations and their communities. Ask God to give them opportunity to be voices of reason, voices of clarity, and voices of grace. 7. Pray for the families of all who have died and for those undergoing treatment. And ask God to comfort the brokenhearted and to strengthen those who are suffering physically and emotionally. This is a tough time. People are suffering, may not be suffering physically, but many people are suffering emotionally. And we can pray for those people. Number 8, pray for those whose jobs or hours have been cut due to the economic turndown. Well, I'm sure that there are many people in our circle of friendship here, of everybody watching, that we know somebody who's been furloughed, hours have been cut, jobs have been lost. Many of our jobs that we had before may even go away, and we may be forced to find new types of employment. And to be able to provide for our families, we need to pray for those whose jobs or hours have been cut due to the economic turndown. Number 9, pray for parents who are struggling to work and care for their children. Many parents are struggling to know what to do because the daycares are closed, and they can't. Maybe they can't work from home, and so they're struggling to find daycare for the children. Or maybe computers aren't their thing, and they're just struggling with the whole technology issue. And that's a tough thing for some people. So we need to pray for those who are struggling in that area. Pray that the churches would look for ways to reach out to families in their communities to provide for them and show them the love of Christ. I think this is 9:9. Pray that God's people would be unified as one church, that we would look to the lives and faith of our persecuted brothers and sisters as we navigate fear and the unknown. And I don't have to mention anything about color to know that we need to look to our persecuted brothers and sisters as we navigate fear and the unknown. That we would look to them for guidance and for hope. And lastly, pray that we as God's people would be reminded of our hope in Christ and the truth that our Savior who died and rose for us has already overcome the world. And Jesus said, don't worry, I have overcome the world. Pray that we would be people who read His Word and take hold of His call and His promises, not just in our heads, but also in our hearts. Yeah. You can add your own prayer to this list as well. But friends, let's be a people who would join with God in this battle towards victory by using our greatest weapon. And you know what that is, right? That's prayer. Yeah. Amen. Amen. Who taught the sun where to stand? Who told the ocean you can only come this far? And who showed the moon where to hide till evening? Whose words alone can catch a falling star? Well, I know my Redeemer lives. Yes, I know my Redeemer lives. All of creation testifies. This life within me cries. For I know my Redeemer lives. All the very same God that spins things in orbit runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak. And the same gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken and conquer death to bring me victory. Yes, I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify. Let this life within me cry. For I know my Redeemer. Yes, He lives to take away my shame. And He lives forever. I'll proclaim that the payment for my sin was the precious life He gave. But now He's alive and there's an empty grave. Yes, I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. All of creation testifies, and this life within me cries. For I know my Redeemer, He lives. Yes, He lives. My Redeemer lives. When it all goes crazy and the thrill is gone, the days get rainy, the nights get long, when you get that feeling you were born to lose, staring at your ceiling, thinking of your blues. When there's so much trouble that you wanna cry, the world has crumbled, you don't know why. Your hopes are fading, can't be found. Dreams have left you waiting, friends have left you down. Just remember I love you, and it'll be alright. Just remember I love you, more than I can say. Oh, maybe then your blues will melt away. When you need love and when you're down so low, you start to wonder, but you never know. When it feels like sorrow is your only friend, knowing that tomorrow you'll feel this way again. Just remember I love you, and it'll be alright. Just remember I love you, more than I can say. Maybe then your blues will fade away. clouds falling, the rainbow's gone. If you feel like crying, tears won't come. When your dreams are dying, when you're on the run. Just remember I love you, and it'll be alright. Just remember I love you, all that I can say. Maybe then you're blue. Just remember I love you, and it'll be alright. Just remember I love you, more than I can say. Maybe then you're blue. Remember I love you. Never fade away. Remember I love you. I like to sing that song and picture that God is just saying to me, just remember, I love you. Just remember, I love you more than I can say. Trust me. Let me hear your voice. Pray to me, Ken. Pray to me, Ken, and everything's going to be okay. You can put your trust in me. Put your trust in me. I hope that was encouraging to you tonight, and God bless you, folks. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to leave a tip, you can see the tip jar at the top of my Facebook page, or you can go to my website, kenwanovich.com, and the tip jar will be there as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your comments. I appreciate it, and God bless you. I will see you next Monday night at 8 o'clock